Better Call Harry is getting results. $1,200 for 4 ibuprofen. That is outrageous. Well, that's how much Atlanta Medical Center charged a car accident victim who went to the ER.
And by the time she left the hospital, her bill was a whopping $80,000. So how can you keep this from happening to you? That's tonight's Better Call Harry.
I can still see my car sitting there. Wow.
Tony Murray's one and only car accident was right here at the intersection of La Vista Road and Lawrenceville Highway.
So she hit me so hard that the engine dropped out of my car and my car just stopped.
Paramedics rushed Tony to Atlanta Medical Center, where staffers listed the incident as an auto accident. Let the billing begin. First, a $22,200 base charge for trauma 1. Next,
$4,522 for a CT scan of your head, $5,300 for a CT scan of your spine, $4,900 for a scan of your thoracic spine without contrast material.
When Tony complained about a dull ache in her leg, time for some MRIs.
$8,197 for an MRI of your brain. You remember that one?
I do.
It's like somebody went to the fanciest restaurant in town and ordered everything. For dessert, 4 ibuprofen.
How much were those ibuprofen?
Over $1,200.
8 hours after admission, Tony says she had enough. When the doctor gave the green light, she walked out. Her grand total, $80,067.31.
I've been practicing for 32 years. I've never seen anything as egregious as this.
Steve Reif is Tony's personal injury attorney. He's been trying to negotiate Tony's bill with Atlanta Medical Center for more than a year.
And I've called Atlanta Medical Center over 20 times in the last 12 months, and they haven't given me any answers.
Reif is working on a settlement with the other driver's insurance company, but what if the payout isn't enough?
Yes, it's ridiculous. How much do 4 ibuprofen cost?
Cindy Gatton has made a career out of negotiating hospital bills. She's a private patient advocate who says when the hospitals check off that auto accident box, it's like opening a cash register.
And as soon as you check yes in that box, it sets off a whole different cascade of ways in which a hospital is going to bill and try to collect.
It all comes down to this. Auto insurance companies do not get reduced rates like the health insurance companies do. That explains why the hospital can charge $1,200 for the pills.
I'm being traumatized all over again.
Tony's attorney says he's trying to negotiate that bill down to $8,000. So how did Atlanta Medical Center respond? Here are the highlights. Wellstar acknowledges that the time it has taken to resolve this isolated matter is not typical. The statement goes on to say that it talked to the patient's attorney and requested additional information. We are still waiting for this information.
So we talked to the attorney this morning who says he's given the hospital absolutely everything that they have requested. In addition to that, he talked about the hospital's CEO, Kim Ryan. That's who he was originally dealing with. And we learned this morning that Kim Ryan is no longer the CEO. She was reassigned as a vice president this past June. And it's funny because on her LinkedIn profile yesterday, she was the CEO. We haven't seen anything about this. And today everything's been updated and she's now a vice president.
So you got results and got her demoted
no,
for that quick stuff.
We have no idea that. She was reassigned back in June, but they wanted us to get that information out there today.
Okay.
But they're in transition.
Well, let me ask you this before you go. Why didn't they explain how they came up with those charges?
Well, it's interesting. One of the things that they talk about in the statement that we've put online is that in charity work, Wellstar has given away over $680 million.
But what does that have to do with the 4 ibuprofen being charged $1,200?
They may be implying that they have to offset the cost of all those other expenses that
They're charity.
I guess so. But one thing I do want to point out before we go is I want everybody to go online because we've got a bunch of tips on how to avoid this from happening to you. We've got a great interview with our patient advocate. You've got to see it,
All right.
okay?
You know, and something else that we discussed off camera, but I think it's of value for the viewers tonight, is that you mentioned that you can always negotiate the bill. No matter what you get from the hospital, attempt to negotiate a lower bill.
Tell them you don't have it, and you can always go on a payment plan. All right, that's it.
All right.
Very good
Thank you, Harry.
tips. Thank you, Harry. Well, you are here, of course, to get results. If you need him, call him, email him at bettercallharry@cbs46.com.